Hi, it's Cassie Oelberg in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, and we are going to do a super fun Run Fair page. But I have to tell you, I'm just off of my National Square Dance Convention, and we had such a fun time. So anyway, just wanted to share that. I'll be scrapbooking some pictures of that on film as soon as CM gets our photo center back up and running, which I hear will be sometime in the next few weeks. So if you had that question, that is happening super soon. Okay, let's hop over to our desktop. Okay, so this is one of the sketches I did during my week-long crop. Pay no attention to the little write-on stickers off to the side. I noticed I scooted myself left on this magical desk mat, and I was a little off screen last week. So I gave myself some boundaries so that I could stay zoomed in but not go off of the mat. So let's pull this up here. This was a super fun sketch. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm still using the medieval collection with this. I would highly recommend you grab that if you love it because it is super cute. You can use it for trips to Europe. You can use it for Ren fairs. You can use it for so many things. It's just beautiful. But anyway, those are my main two things I'll be using it for. Okay. Let's see. I actually used only 2 pictures on a page. That never happens for me, but I did have fun with it. I used this cute little petal border punch going top and bottom. And as you can see, I ran out of horizontal pictures. So I pieced together a horizontal picture down here. And then for up here, I just went ahead and used my 4x6 and my 4x6 vertical, and I just turned it into a cute little thing to show where the arrow went after he learned how to do it. So anyway, we're going to pop this aside and do another one. Now, one of the things I'm going to do for this one is a little trick that I do when I am trying to use the borders on a Fast to Fab page. And sometimes people think that I'm crazy when I do this, but I'll tell you what, if you're using Fast to Fab pages, you're saving so much money by all of the paper that you're saving on. So if you cut a few of them and turn them into this, you're really only paying about, what is it, $2. Yeah, about $2 for that page. And you're able to get a border out of it. You're able to get writing out of it, all that good stuff. So it just makes sense to sometimes cut the page and turn it how you want it. I didn't want it to go across like this. So I could use a top loading sleeve and put it in there, but I really like the jeeping on the sides. So while there's no wrong way to do it, there is a right for you. So I really like having the jeeping there. So I have so many people, I think top loading is the #1 thing that my people do. But for me, I want the jeeping there. It just brings me joy. So now we're going to come over here and we are going to cut our pieces. So on the left-hand side, I need my frames. So we're going to do some L-shaped frames. So we want them to be 1/2 inch at the top, 1 inch at the side, and 1/2 inch at the bottom is what I looked at for this page. So what I'm going to do is we need 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1 inch. So I'm going to turn it on its side. I'm going to come down 1 inch. So that's where the cut line is. And I'm measuring over to 1/2 inch. And remember, we need to measure top and bottom when doing these little tiny cuts so it doesn't end up crooked. So it took a second to do that. And I'm just going to bring it down like that. Then I'm just going to flip it to the other side. Bring it over to that 1/2 inch. And bring it down 1 inch and cut again. And then finally, I'm just going to put this over to the 1 inch. I'm going to bring it down that 1/2 inch to that cut line. And I'm going to cut it down to this line. And now I have a frame to go over here. And I'm going to do the same thing for the opposite side. So now I want my frame to go this way. How do I want my words to go? Okay, so I want my frame to go that way. So I'm going to bring it over a 1/2 inch. I'm going to bring it down to the 1 inch at a 1/2 inch. Yeah. Okay. I second guessed myself and thought I measured to a 1/4 inch for 1/2 second there. Okay. So bring it down to 1 inch. That's a 1/2 inch. We'll do the flip. This goes to 1/2 inch. This comes down to 1 inch. Cut. Flip. Bring it over to 1 inch. I love doing frames. I love thinking through. It's like a little geometry puzzle, right? Where does that go? So fun. Okay. So these are both done, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape them down so that I don't lose them, because, you know, I do have a tendency to put pieces all over the place. That's another reason I love my new layout studio, because when I'm sitting and I'm working in a desk at a crop, a lot of the times I'm hopping up and down and I'm running all over the place, answering questions and chatting with people. And, you know, during the little lulls, whenever everybody's just happily and contentedly working and nobody needs me, I pop over to my desk and I try to get a little bit done. But in the old days, before the layout studio, I would come back and everything would be all kerschmumbled and I'd forget what I was doing. And then I'd have to kind of start again and think it through. But now, as I decide what I want, I pop it up on that layout studio. And oh my goodness, I come back and it's still up there. And then I know exactly where I left off. And I got more done than I've ever done at a crop, just having that set up and using it. So that's my little advertisement in the middle of my video while I tape this down. There we go. And so now we have our borders that went around here. And I didn't need that on my layout here because I just built it onto white pages. And so it was, so this was cardstock that went all the way down. And I was using a different border, not the built-in borders. So you can do it all different ways, and you can just take your interpretation and run with it. So now, for me, this is my border already across the top, and this is my border already down the side, and I don't have to redo that. So now I'm going to come over to my left side, and I'm going to use this paper as my top paper, and then I need my 11 by 5 down here. So I'm going to take this light gray, and I'm going to cut myself a 5-inch strip. See which way my words are going. They're going all different ways. You know what? I like this piece right here. I'm going to cut it. There's no directional for this one. I just decided that's what I wanted. So I've got my 5, and I need it to be by 11. And I could just cut 1 inch off because it's 12 inches, but I tend to go ahead and measure it because there is a little bit of an allowance in paper. And so if the allowance is one way or the other, it might not be exactly 11 when I cut that 1 inch off. So for me, I don't want that to happen. So I just go ahead and I measure it to the full amount. Now, since I don't do perfect cutting, this is going to tuck under here like a hair. Not even a 1/16 of an inch, just a hair. Is that an amount? Okay. So now we have this part down. And with this up here, we can go ahead and we can add in these pictures if we want. Let's see. We can build this other side. Oh, you know what? I'm going to use these molten lava pieces from last week. Remember, I cut them and then I changed my mind about what I wanted. But look how nice they'll go with this layout. So I'm going to use that for the strip that goes down the center. So let's just double check how big that is. So that's 1 inch. So this should be 11 inches. So I love it whenever I can put my little pieces that I cut for something aside and then go ahead and use them in the next layout. See, it wasn't a mistake. I was just pre-planning. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So this is going to go right down the center. I'll start on this side because I can always tuck it if I want, if I was a little tiny hair off. Okay. And then I can decide, do I want one to go up and down here? And for me, the answer is yes. I would like that. So this is going to be 11 inches because it's a 1/2 inch there and a 1/2 inch there. So same thing. Lift this up and cut it at 11. And I love how we can look at the virtual crop and the sketches and just decide which parts of it bring us the most joy and then make it happen. Okay, there we go. So that's that side, and now we're going to do this other side. So over here, oh, we're on this one. We need the 9 by 11. And I want that to be in this cool map. I think I want it to be in this cool map. Uh-oh. The map is going to have to go on its side if I use this piece. And I don't really want the map on its side. I grabbed a piece that I was working with. It was already cut. I'm going to just choose a different one because I didn't realize it was going to do that. And my paper is right here, nice and handy. So let's see what I want. Lots of options because I've been using this for quite, in fact, aha, I can just stick with the plan. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it here. So by 11, be helpful if I did it the right way. So let's see. I want it to be 11 up and down. So I'll turn it on its side and cut it. Whew, that was a close call. Okay, and then I need it to be 9. And let's see, which part do we want to use? I think I'm going to flip it this way. I'm going to use that part. So 9 inches. And that's going to go right in here. See, sometimes that's where that layout studio would have come in good, right, girls? If I had put it up there, I would have seen that it was going to cut the wrong direction, and I would not have been happy with that direction. So, okay, now it is time to add our photos. So let's pull over what goes on this double page spread and see what we like. We have, oh, I think these go over here. This is going to go here. This is going to go here. And then I'm going to have this one kind of go across the center. And this is another spot where you can take those magnets and you can put them up there and see exactly where everything's going to go. So over here, I want the 2 vertical to go here and here. I'm going to cut those down a little. I'm going to map myself right there. That's going to go up there, and that's going to go there. So now we can do our trimming and matting if we would like. So over here, I like these ones. This one I'm going to cut a little bit off the top. So I'm just going to cut it down to 3 1/4. There we go. And this one, I want it just a little bit smaller. I'm going to cut it down to 5. And it's going to tuck there. And I think I am going to mat them on this glue. I have these centers from the cutout here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and mat those because I just like that. So we need 6 1/4 for 2 of them. And one of them is going to be 4 1/4. And the other one, what did we just say we cut that down to? We cut it down to 3 1/4, so we need 3 1/2. And now we can mat these two. There we go. This one's going to go down here. So our chicks are all moved in and settled in to their new chicken coop. So that's been a lot of fun. My husband actually built it during that week-long crop I was talking about. And surprised me. So I was super excited. And he built it so that there could be like a little fence between, because we had a couple of chickens that were just a couple weeks older than the other chickens. And so they're just enough bigger that they would not, they might beat up on the smaller ones. So they get their own little spot, but they can still talk to each other until they're all the right size. And then we can open the fence between them and everybody can get along. So that's fun. Okay, so that's that side. And then over here, just double check how big this is. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then that can pop out a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and cut these down a little bit. I make them 3 1/4, I think. That's what the layout actually calls for. I'm going to cut a little off this side. A little off this side. There we go. And then we're going to make them 5 1/4 tall. There we go. This one's going to come across. And I like to take, when I go to a castle or any type of a historical site, I like to take lots of interesting photos, like through the windows. See how there's like some layering there. You just keep turning your camera and shooting, and you'll end up with some really fun photos peeking through things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tape these down over here so they don't get lost. You know what I'm going to say, right? Layout studio, nothing gets lost. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. Okay, and now I'm going to pop these pictures over here. So they're going to be 5 1/4. So measure this to be sure. Yep, 5 1/4. About 3 1/4, but I don't think I'm going to cut much off of this one. It says 3 1/4, but I'm going to make it 3 3/4 and cut more off the bottom one. So I'm going to take this one, and I did do that to 5 1/4, right? Yep, 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one to 5 1/4. I'll cut off this side because it's not as interesting. And then I gave this one an extra 1/2 inch. So I'm going to take a 1/2 inch. So this is going to be 2 3/4, which is actually going to be just fine because it means taking the grass off the bottom and then taking a little bit more off the side. And I end up with a perfect picture down here. And now this one is going to be 5 1/2 by 3 1/2. So we're going to cut the bottom off here. A little tiny bit off the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mat this one. So this is going to be 6 by 4. So 6. Love this deep gray. It's so pretty. 6 by 4. Go. And now this is going to go on the bottom. And this is going to go on the top. And this one is going to go in between. This was a leftover from sketch 1. I love using my leftover scraps for things. See, I taped this picture down crooked. Love repositionable tape. I don't even know how I survived before it existed. Because I am very much a get her down kind of a girl. Okay. So there is the main part of our layout. And now let's just dress it up a little. So I'm going to bring some of my mats over because obviously I need a little mat to go up here. Oh, you know what? I might actually want to use, pull these over. I might want to use one of these little ones. I love this collection. I love that they have these little ones in here. Like, you know, like this and this one. I don't know if there's a little one I'm going to love. Maybe bucket list. No, I want it to be horizontal. Okay, back to the blend. We'll use one of these. This one might be fun because you can just write right over that map. It's the wrong color. Yeah, I think it might be the map. And sometimes I take these and I just make myself a, and that one's kind of cute. Sometimes I just make a, out of the white journaling paper and put it over top. And that works out nice too. But this one, I can just take, I'm going to slide this down a little, or maybe up. Let's see, I think down. And now this is going to fit nicely right there. I've gone through so many packs of these embellishments. So I'm going to write over top of that in a black ink, and then I'll have my journaling done. And now we're just going to add a little bit of, let's see about my stickers. I've been going through these stickers like crazy. They are so cute. This global getaway, they knocked it out of the park. So I'm going to do Explore Galore up here. Because that is us. We do explore galore. And then I think I'm going to add in this little backpack. Let's see. Yep. Put that under here. I should have thought of that first, but I didn't, and that's okay. So I'm going to layer in this backpack. And then maybe just this. Okay. Cluster that right up there. Maybe add this down here. I love how many extra little embellishment things they've been adding to these collections. This is going to come over here. And I feel like this side of it does not need anything else. Now that we've added some stuff on this side, I think it balances quite nicely. And I am going to call this done. And I will just do a little writing there, and it will make me super happy. So I hope you had fun. I hope you are getting lots of cropping done and enjoying the virtual crop, because I'll tell you what, you can get so much done if you keep up with your virtual crop sketches. And you get a lot of really fun ideas and try some things that you wouldn't normally do. So anyway, have a great day, and I will see you again next